right, today we are going to read Oak Trees by Melanie Mitchell. Now, I am not going to tell you if this is fantasy or realistic fiction or nonfiction or informational text. I want you to be able to tell me that by the end of the story or the book. Now, oak trees. I want you to think about when two vowels go walking, the first does the talking and says its name. So the vowels are A, E, I, O, and U. So here we have two vowels, O and A. When O and A go walking, the first does the talking and says its name. So A doesn't say anything, it just tells O to say its name. So we would sound it out, oak. And then in trees, we have two vowels here, E and E. The first does the talking and says its name, E, oak trees. This is an oak tree. Oak trees can grow very big. So look at the size of the house and look at the size of the tree. You can see how very big the oak tree is. How do oak trees grow? I want you to pay attention here. We have OW here says the ow sound, and OW here says the O sound. How do oak trees grow? Oak trees grow from seeds called, what do you think it is? It starts with an A, and we can look at the picture for clues. That's right, acorns. Some acorns are planted. So this is a child planting an acorn. Others just fall to the ground. I want you to listen for these time-ordered words. First, next, last. First, the acorn grows roots, and you can see the roots. Now remember, roots always grow down. That is part of the concept of geotropism. Next, it grows a stem. So first the root grew, then the stem grew. It grows into a small tree. The tree grows bigger and taller. Many years later, the tree grows flowers. So here the OW is saying ow, right? Acorns grow from the flowers. So we have grow says, the OW says O here, and it says ow here. So these are the oak flowers, and they become acorns or grow from there. Oak trees must be very old to grow acorns. The acorns fall to the ground. Animals eat some of the acorns. The rest grow into new oak trees. So this is the life cycle of an oak tree, and we have talked a lot about cycles. Order, what comes next, is what's important in a cycle, but it doesn't matter where we start. It goes round and round. So if we want to start with the full tree, the tree produces flowers that turn into acorns. The acorns fall to the ground. They go into the ground and start growing a root, then a stem. That's a bigger picture. It's growing more into a plant. Then it becomes a bigger plant, and finally an oak tree. This says oak trees grow all over the world. There are almost 300 kinds of oak trees. Different kinds of oak trees grow in different places. Oak trees grow very slowly. It takes many years for an oak tree it takes many years for an oak tree to grow big enough to produce acorns. Oak trees produce acorns in the fall. Some oak trees produce thousands of acorns. Only a few acorns will actually grow into trees and continue the life cycle of an oak tree. And here are some oak tree facts. Oak trees can live for hundreds of years. A famous oak tree in Maryland called the Y oak lived for over 400 years. It was destroyed by lightning in 2002. Some oak trees are 50 years old before they produce acorns. So almost as old as I am before they actually produce an acorn. An average oak tree sheds about 700,000 leaves each fall. Oak trees seem to be struck by lightning more than any other kind of tree. Connecticut, Georgia, Illinois, Iowa, Maryland, and New Jersey all have an oak tree as their state tree. The bark from the cork oak tree can be peeled away and used to make cork boards, shoe soles, and insulation. The tree regrows its bark in about 9 years. So that's like if that bark started growing the day you were born, it would still take another 3 years before it was fully regrown. And we've talked about a glossary and an index before. A glossary is like a mini dictionary. It tells you what vocabulary words mean. So acorns are the seeds of an oak tree. Flowers, the part of a plant that grows seeds. Oak tree, a tree that makes acorns. Roots, the part of plants that grow into the soil. Stem, the supporting part of plants that grows above the ground. Now an index tells you what page you can find information on. So animals are on page 16, flowers are on page 12 and 13, roots are on page 8, seeds are on page 5, and stem is on page 9. So I'm going to look at page 9 and see if they really mention a stem. So if this was a big book and I wanted to find out about a stem, I would look at the index and then I would look on page 9. Next, it grows a stem. Let's see if roots is on page 8. Here's the word roots, and it is on page 8. Okay, remember that we will listen to this story 2 times, okay? Thanks.